Hi, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of Everyday Elder Care. I'm your host, Casey Price, from the elder law firm of Price & Price in Haddonfield, New Jersey. We are the elder law firm that focuses our practice on helping families touched by Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. And today on Everyday Elder Care, I'm really excited to shine our spotlight on a community in South Jersey that is doing wonderful things. That community is Lionsgate. Lionsgate is a non-for-profit community that has a range of accommodations serving over 400 residents. Their services range from independent living to assisted living to skilled nursing and long-term care, short-term and outpatient rehabilitation, memory care, and home care. So with me today are my friends from Lionsgate, Susan Love, the Executive Director, and Peggy O'Neill, the Director of Sales and Marketing. And welcome both of you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm very excited to hear more about Lionsgate. And why don't we start with you, Susan? Tell us a little bit about Lionsgate. What's the story?
So Lionsgate has been open since 2007. Before we built Lionsgate, we owned a freestanding nursing home in Cherry Hill, which was 173 beds. And in the late 1990s, we decided that we needed to meet the broader needs of the Jewish community in the tri-state area, tri-county area. So we decided to build Lionsgate, which is, as you said, independent living, assisted living, skilled nursing, and rehab. And it is a kosher community, so it tends to draw the Jewish population. And that's how Lionsgate came about. And it is a vibrant community, and it's thriving, and it's very successful. And we're great that we can offer it to the community members in the area.
Now, just to draw a picture in people's minds, Lionsgate isn't a building, right? Lionsgate is a whole campus.
It's a whole campus, so we have 152 independent living apartments. We have 12 cottages right outside the main campus, which are also independent living, 70 assisted living apartments, 32 rehab units, and 78 skilled nursing beds. So it's over 400 residents, and it's really, as I said, a thriving and vibrant community.
Yeah, it's amazing. It serves the needs of so many people. And why don't we share, what would you say it is that makes Lionsgate unique? What would you want people who are considering care to know about Lionsgate?
I'm going to say there's a couple things that make Lionsgate unique. One is we are the only kosher CCRC community care retirement community in the state of New Jersey. So along with the kosher dining services that we offer and the kosher food, we celebrate all the traditional Jewish holidays, and we do have a rabbi on staff, as well as we have a wellness center, which is staffed by Rowan University Institute for Successful Aging physicians, and we're open 5 days a week. There's physicians on staff that for the wellness center. So residents can come down to the wellness center, and we also have 2 wellness nurses on staff. And if residents aren't feeling well, they'll go up to the apartments. The nurses go up to the apartments, and even the physicians go up to the residents' apartments. So you really don't find that in many communities or elsewhere. So, and you can't get that living in your home. So if you come to Lionsgate, you have those services right at your fingertips. The last thing I think that makes Lionsgate unique is that we're a freestanding community, and all the management staff is really involved in the daily lives of the residents. So we all know the residents by name, and if a resident has an issue, they approach us, myself, Peggy, all the managers, and the issue is taken care of right then and there. You don't have to go through a corporate chain of command, and you don't have to call so-and-so or wait for a return call. It's done right on the spot.
It's real-time management, which I think is awesome because our residents actually interact daily with our CEO. I mean, and she can make decisions right then and there, real time, versus having to go through, a corporate chain or go to your regional. So having your CEO in your dining room, eating with you, I think that is a huge, huge positive to the community.
Yeah, it provides all sorts of stability. People
Yes.
know what to expect.
Yes.
And if they run into an issue or a roadblock, there's somebody there right on site.
And usually it's Susan.
Right.
7 days a week it
Right,
appears
so
sometimes.
I've been with the organization for going on 21 years, and I know all the residents by name. All the staff basically knows the residents by name. They know us, and the residents look forward to seeing the staff on a daily basis. And the best part of my job is when I can spend time with the residents, and it's one big happy family there. So, and you can't say that when there's a chain of communities. So, being just one community gives us that that feeling of a family, and just really extended family.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, when people are considering choosing a community, when they reach retirement age or even later, but let's focus on those younger adults. When they reach that retirement age and they're looking maybe to make a change, what should they be thinking of?
I think what I always recommend is you want to find a vibrant community, a community that offers you that lifelong learning, all the programming that you want to do. You don't have to do it, but if you want to do it, it's there. So it's that ongoing education, whether it's through a university classes that are offered on site, or it's those art classes. And I don't mean art where it's watercolors and paint by number. I mean, it's actual art classes with the easels. And I mean, it's truly a studio. Some of the other things too, it's the engagement, the socialization level of knowing that you have events that are not necessarily always planned by the community team, but by the residents, that they engage in their own social networking, and they're going out to the theaters, they're going out to restaurants. I think, life doesn't stop what you were doing. It's just that the home maintenance stops, the having to mow the lawn, having to do, the utility billing and all that goes away, but everything else stays. And I think that's what makes our community so amazing.
Snow removal is a perfect example with the storm coming tomorrow.
And another one next week.
Residents don't have to shovel. They don't have to, we'll scrape their cars for them. We'll dig them out. They don't have to deal with that. So all that, it's a no worry type of living.
That's fantastic. And I know, we're going to take a quick break. We have a lot more to talk about, especially some amenities, some other things. I know we're going to spotlight the chef's table.
Yes.
So people should stay tuned and listen about that. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with more with Susan and Peggy from Lionsgate in just a moment. Welcome back to Everyday Elder Care. Let's jump right back into our interview here with Susan and Peggy from Lionsgate. And Peggy, when we left off a moment ago, I kind of teased that we're going to talk about some amenities, including the Chef's Table event. Why don't you tell everybody about the amenities at Lionsgate?
First, I'd say come see them, because I can't do them justice by talking about them. But some of the great amenities that we do have, we do offer Lionsgate University, which is a great, ongoing education program. We do have the art studio. We have an indoor Olympic-sized swimming pool, so we do a lot of water aerobics, a lot of free swimming. We also have a state-of-the-art fitness center that is consistently used. We have one of our residents, he's 101, he uses it every day, puts me to shame. We also have probably one of the best is our food, which is
I like that.
The food. Clearly not getting thin at Lionsgate. The food, our chefs, many of them come from local 4- and 5-star restaurants, so it's second to none, the meals that we get. We actually have one of our chefs competing in the upcoming Dish It Up in Philly. She's a competitor with putting up against some of the best chefs in Philly, so that's exciting. We also have Diane Sabater, who was a former Chopped winner. She is actually coming to be a guest chef at Lionsgate with our chef, Stephen Davis, and they're going to be doing the Chef's Table, and so they're going to be doing different soups and talking about, working together on that, and that's exciting. And, to that point, when I talk about our menu, 63 soups over the season, all different, and they're all, from scratch. And yeah, our pastries, there's another one I can't forget because my favorite is the crumb cake, and it's addicting.
We eat a lot of food throughout the day between breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we all love the food there, and I invite you to come over and have a meal,
Yes.
especially.
Yes,
Yes,
great. Can I
definitely.
make a
come be our
reservation?
guest.
Please be our guest, yes,
This
because
is
it
great.
really is excellent, and the residents are really happy with the food, and they look forward to dining with their friends and dining with each other, and they bring in a lot of guests and their family as well. So it's great to see the dining room and our newly renovated bistro really hopping throughout the day. So it's really great. So-
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's wonderful. I love the food. When we stop on that for a little while,
Oh.
always makes me happy. And food makes me think of family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Lionsgate, I know, is like a family. At least I hear that all the time, but I see it too. Can you tell everybody how Lionsgate is like a family? Does everybody know each other? Do they all attend events? What is it that goes on that makes it so special?
The fact that we've been open for 11 years now, most of the residents who have been with us from the day that we opened, they're like a family. They've gotten to know each other. And what's really interesting is that we have seen people who knew each other from the area when they were younger. Some have reunited who went to high school together or went to college. So they rebuilt those relationships and have really become friendly. And for those who come in from the outside, we have an ambassador program. And the residents who are those ambassadors, they really make the new residents feel welcome. They attend a new residents lunch, and they really get the new residents acclimated, and then they become part of the family. So it's one big community, which is great. And what we see is the residents attending different activities. Not all residents go to the same activities. The residents all have different choices, and it's great with our programming because we have different choices. There's different programs. Some programs go on simultaneously. So if you like canasta, you might be playing canasta. If Peggy likes painting, she'll go to the art studio. So there's something for everybody. But then everybody joins up, whether it's at dinner time or for entertainment after dinner time. So
Or happy hour.
Or happy hour, right? Exactly. So as big as the community is, during the day, everyone's doing their own thing and enjoying their own activities, and then they're together at the end of the day or at nighttime. So it's really one big happy family.
And they
So-
look out for one another. That's one of the, for me, that's one of the nice things is that they do. It's not just on the day to day. It's that they look out. Hey, I didn't see so and so. Can you check on them? Or they didn't answer their door, or I didn't see them. Or they, if they know that somebody went out to the hospital, they want to make sure that they get the get well card out to them. So it goes beyond just the socialization. It's truly caring to a different level.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that family feeling, it doesn't happen at every community.
Right.
It is the culture that you create in the community that fosters that sense of family and community. And it's really amazing how you've been able to do that.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's one thing I do want to also point out is that as part of being that family, though, you have to look at the staffing component, because we just celebrated staff anniversaries. We have staff that have been there 45 years,
45 years,
35 years,
30.
25.
30.
You were in 20. I mean, a huge number. I mean, that room was filled with staff who have been there for, in that width of time, which I think speaks volumes, and I think it also caters to that family environment because they're truly a part of that family.
And I'll say the residents also feel that the staff is part of their family, and especially in the dining room, a lot of our servers are from school, from the high schools or local community colleges, and the servers treat the residents as if they're their grandparents, and the residents treat the servers as if they're their grandchildren, and they really bond, and they really have such a close-knit relationship, and it's just great to see them really love each other. That's what it's like, so it's really wonderful.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And I think that's a great point where we can take a quick break, go to commercial, come back, because we have a whole lot more to talk about. So stay tuned for one moment. We're going to be right back with more from Susan and Peggy from Lionsgate. Welcome back once again to Everyday Elder Care. I'm your host, Casey Price, and I'm joined today by Peggy O'Neill and Susan Love from Lionsgate in Voorhees. I always trip myself over that, in Voorhees. And we've been talking about the environment. We've touched on how it's a continuing care retirement community, and you have all sorts of services available: assisted living, independent living, memory care, rehab. Can we talk a little bit about what happens once you move in and your needs change, whether it's on a temporary basis or a permanent basis? You can accommodate those changes, can't you?
Yes. Independent. So if you move into independent living and something happens, you're ill, you go to the hospital, we have the opportunity then to come to our rehab. We rehab you, and you go back home. You can still continue to take outpatient therapy in our community as well. In a different situation where maybe something has changed, maybe a married couple and one of the spouses ends up having more of memory care issues or needing more assistance than can be provided in the independent living, we have the option to either move both of them into assisted living, or what we've seen happen is perhaps maybe the one spouse stays in independent living and the other spouse will go to memory care, and the spouse in independent can go and visit, and they still can have meals together. But it's the idea being is we don't want the other spouse to become the caregiver. We want to be able to provide those services. And being in that continuum, they have full access 24/7 wherever they are. And I think that is a big plus for what Lionsgate does offer to our residents. But somebody coming in, yes, you can absolutely move through the continuum. Whether you find yourself needing some additional assistance, you can go to assisted living. If, assisted living, then you've exhausted that and you need to go to a higher level, we have skilled nursing 24/7. They're able to go to that as well, and they stay with us. Our residents don't leave us. Regardless of their financial situation, they stay with us for the interim.
So once Lionsgate is home,
it's home.
Lionsgate is home.
It is home.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And with the couples, with the husband and wife, if one's in rehab, the other's right there.
Right.
Whether in the same building or on the same campus.
Oh, they're in the same building.
In the same building. So getting back and forth to see your spouse, to see your loved one, it's never an issue because you're right there.
Right, and it's great because you don't have to walk outside. You can walk within the community. So if the weather's bad, you just walk in the building. And if someone can't walk as far and they need transportation, we have a bus or we have a van, so the driver can drive the resident from independent living over to our rehab. So we have that amenity as well. So it's great. So there's never a hassle to get from one side of the building to the other.
And I'm cutting you off, and I apologize.
No, that's okay.
But I want to ask you a question about your rehab. I've heard
Sure.
good things.
Yes, and I'm glad that you heard. You're hearing good things, but I do want to note that we are a 5-star. We have a 5-star rating from the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services for the past 3 years. So I'm very proud of that. We have an awesome staff, nursing, as well as our certified nursing assistants, all of our staff are dining services, our physicians who have made this possible by providing the highest level of quality care and services. So
also a preferred provider for rehab services from Virtua.
Wow.
Yes, right. So
That's great.
it's great, and I expect that to continue.
Well, you don't get that without a great team.
No,
and
absolutely.
it just underscores what we've been saying today, how great the team is, how that family feel is there.
Right.
It's fantastic. Now, if somebody has taken the tour and they've seen what you offer, and really they should take the tour if they haven't seen it, right?
Try the food.
Try the food. Take the tour. Try the food, and they've seen it, and they like what they see. What's the next step? What do they do next? How do they get in touch and follow through on that?
Well, they would come. Obviously, we've gone through the tour. They've had our food, and then it's really the application process. It's really it's a simple. It's a couple pages, but it's basically going through your emergency contacts and kind of planning ahead as to next steps. It's we do a financial application as well, and then it's basically picking out which apartment that you want and when you want to move in. That's really what it comes down to. It's not long and drawn out or anything like that. And we have different floor plans. We have the 1 bedrooms all the way up to the 2 bedrooms and a den. I mean, our floor plans go up to 1,700 square feet. So some of them are the size of a small house, and then we have cottages too. So
it's great that you say that, because I think a lot of people have in their mind it's one size fits all,
Right.
It's cookie cutter, and they don't realize the options that are available
Right.
that you provide. And so it's great that people know that. But the best way, of course,
Come see me.
Come see it, right?
Yes,
Right,
you have to
so-
experience it. I can tell you how wonderful it is, but until you've touched it and you've seen it and you've talked to the residents and the staff, you're not going to experience it.
Well, let's switch gears for 1 second. We've been talking in large part to the individual who's considering the move into Lionsgate. What about the child who has a parent who may be more advanced in age, maybe elderly in need of care? Are they able to kind of jump in later in the process, right into assisted living,
Yes.
right into your long-term care center? Is that doable?
Yes, absolutely. And they, whether it's the assisted living or it's the memory care or a skilled nursing, yes, we've taken people who, they stayed in their home longer, and now because of whatever change has happened, they come in through assisted living, or maybe they went through rehab and they couldn't go back home, and then they could go into assisted living or memory care or to long-term care. So there's multiple ways to come into our community.
That's fantastic. So you're an option for anybody looking
Yes.
for that anywhere on the continuum, whether it's that independent who wants to age in place on your campus in your community, or whether it's a caregiver for an elderly loved one
Right.
who needs to find good, safe placement. Maybe they're looking for kosher, and you're an incredible opportunity in that sense. So, I mean, you just provide you're a resource for everybody as long as they avail themselves.
Right, absolutely.
Correct, right. And one of the things that I pride ourselves on at Lionsgate is that we are a resource for the community outside of Lionsgate. So if someone in the broader community has any questions about what they're looking for, what they should be doing, whether it's planning for now or planning for the future, give us a call and we'll be happy to give advice and recommendations. And we're always there to help somebody.
Well, now
So-
that's a great
Uh-huh.
segue, because we have talked about some amazing things. We've walked people through every aspect of Lionsgate. Now the time it has come where they're thinking, oh man, I want to talk to these people. I want to go see that campus. How do they get in touch with you, and what's the next step they should take to go explore Lionsgate?
Call me, Peggy. And my direct phone number is 856-679-2202. I'll repeat that, 856-679-2202. And I'd be happy to talk to anybody who has questions or wants to come and see the community. We can be a resource or give you our upcoming calendar on when we have different seminars. We have one this week, 7 valuable tips on managing your money post-retirement. So
Fantastic.
we try to keep the community at large informed globally.
Do you have a website that people can
We
check out?
do. It is www.lionsgateccrc.org.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you
That's
on the spot.
okay.
I catch people off guard with these questions.
No,
all the
I know
time.
that one.
So, well, I mean, this has been great. I really appreciate you coming in and sharing everything Lionsgate provides to the community. It is wonderful.
Thank
It's been
you.
our pleasure. Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and I can't wait to have you back again, because I know we have a lot more to cover.
We do.
And I hope you'll visit us for lunch.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's a
Or
promise I
dinner
will
if
make.
you want. Yes.
Absolutely. So thanks again, and thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Everyday Elder Care. Each week we bring you great people from the community sharing the services they can provide to the elder care community. So remember, every Tuesday at noon, you tune in Everyday Elder Care. My name's Casey Price. I'm from the Elder Law Offices of Price & Price in Haddonfield, New Jersey. We are the elder law firm that focuses on Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. And until I get to see you again next week, I wish you nothing but the best.